Hey everybody, it's Mike Frieder here with On-Call Compliance Solutions, and I'm back with another compliance tip of the week. Today we're talking about CMMC Control AC.L2-3.1.22. Control CUI posted or processed on publicly accessible systems. My pet peeve. So hey, if you're a defense contractor and your employees are uploading controlled unclassified information to Google Docs, Dropbox, or even worse, posting all about it on social media because let's be honest, what you build is probably pretty cool, well then we got a big problem and you're in the right place. At On-Call Compliance Solutions, we take cybersecurity chaos and turn it into CMMC success, so you can focus on winning more defense contracts with higher profit margins, not worrying about accidentally leaking CUI all over the world like a leaky diaper on a newborn baby. All for the world to see and you to clean up. Let's jump into it. All right, let's start with a real-world horror story. A small defense contractor's marketing team accidentally uploaded an internal presentation to their public website. And believe me, I've seen this happen more than one occasion. Like, a lot. Let's be honest. How many defense contractor websites have you seen that have that really cool F-35 thing doing the thing that you're not really supposed to, tell our enemies that it can do? You know who you are. Unfortunately, the file contains CUI in the form of sensitive DoD contract details, even though they didn't really think about it. Within hours, the DoD found it, and within days, the contractor lost their security clearance. Oh, heartbreak hotel, man. Within weeks, contract terminated. Big problem. And guess what? Their competition got to take over. Ugh, it's nasty. Why? Because CUI should never ever be publicly accessible. That's exactly why CMMC Control AC.L2-3.1.22 exists. To make sure CUI isn't mistakenly or even intentionally posted on the internet where hackers, competitors, and foreign adversaries can get their hands on it and figure out what you're up to. Now, let's break down how to solve for each assessment objective so you can pass your CMMC Level 2 audit and keep your CUI locked down tight. Assessment objectives and how to solve them. Prohibit the posting of CUI on publicly accessible systems. Documentation required. CUI handling policy clearly states that CUI cannot be posted online. Next, acceptable use policy. Define what employees can and cannot do with company systems, including making sure that CUI that's in the system and secure doesn't wind up making it out of the system where it's not secure, especially if it could be something silly like Instagram or Facebook or wherever you think is cool. Security awareness training records. Prove that employees understand the dangers of posting CUI online. Now, let's talk about some technical implementation. First off, we got to block unauthorized cloud storage services. Things like Google Drive, Dropbox, personal OneDrive, things like that should really be ultimately locked down. Now, use data loss prevention, DLP tools to detect and prevent CUI from being uploaded. And finally, train employees on what qualifies as CUI and where it can and cannot be stored. I will tell you out of personal experience, the number one question I get when we're consulting is, what is CUI? They still don't get it. Just because you might finally understand it doesn't mean that everybody else in the entire company does. So you got to make sure that you've got that CUI mandatory handling trained and up to date. And most importantly, make sure your team knows what CUI. Have conversations about it. It'll help. Now here's an example. A company failed their audit because employees were sharing CUI on Slack and Google Docs. No security controls, no restrictions equals big compliance failure. Now, keep in mind, another example of this could be that your employees posted cool pictures of what you're building with specifications right onto Facebook and Instagram. We found it countless times. There's another great example of a big compliance failure. What's the solution? Block public sharing and enforce strict CUI storage policies. Now, are there government versions of Slack that are compliant? Yes. Are you using them? I don't know. We'd have to look at your acceptable use policy to find out where it's acceptable to post CUI in your system. That's what an AUP is for. Now let's talk about monitor and prevent unauthorized public posting of CUI. Documentation required. CUI monitoring policy. Details how the company scans for and prevents public CUI exposure. Next, incident response plan. Outlines what to do if CUI is found on a public system. Yes, you're going to have an incident response plan, even procedures on how to take down CUI if it winds up on your website or social media. You got to have a way to get yourself out of trouble. Audit logs and reports. Provide evidence that the company is actively monitoring for CUI leaks. That's right, you need to be actively reviewing and monitoring all your marketing materials and, anywhere else that CUI shouldn't be going. Technical implementation. Implement automated scanning tools that search for company CUI in public repositories. Yes, this is a really, really good idea as a way of demonstrating that you're being diligent about keeping CUI off of public places. Especially if you're programming or creating applications, this could be a big deal. Set up alerts to notify security teams if CUI is detected on unauthorized sites. Next, require management approval before sharing any information externally. Now, a real-world example. A company's file sharing software accidentally syncs CUI to a public folder that's accessible by anybody, making it available to anyone with the link. Ooh, that's not good. What's the solution? Enable logging, require approval for external sharing, and run regular security scans to make sure that those publicly accessible folders that you know you have, like in Dropbox, don't wind up creating situations where CUI can be accessed by just anybody with the link. Next, restrict who can share or post information publicly, and I think this is a really good idea. Let's not put it in the hands of people who shouldn't be doing it. Documentation required is an access control policy, defining who is allowed to post information externally. CUI handling training logs shows that employees understand how to properly store and share CUI. And external communication procedures outline the approval process for releasing information. Now, technical implementation. Limit public posting privileges to specific approved personnel like your PR team. Require multi-factor authentication for any system that can post information publicly. Disable external sharing on collaboration platforms by default. Very, very good idea. Again, great example is SharePoint. You want to basically disable sharing by default and only enable it on specific folders where you know that things are going, and then put controls on that. Example, an intern accidentally attached CUI to a press release email and sent it to multiple news outlets. Major compliance violation. Wow, you can't undo that one. What's the solution? Restrict public posting access and train employees on external communication rules. I cannot emphasize this enough. You need to provide your employees with training that makes them aware that you can't go post pictures of what you're doing on Instagram. Yes, what you're doing is cool. Of course it's cool. This stuff is cool. It's why we love being in the defense industry. But you can't go sharing that publicly. Now, a final checklist to pass your CMMC audit. To pass CMMC Control AC.L2-3.1.22, you need a documented policy prohibiting public posting of CUI for sure. Technical controls like DLP, access restrictions, scanning tools, and to prevent CUI leaks, and regular monitoring to detect unauthorized CUI exposure, training and enforcement to ensure employees understand the risks. Personally, I like the idea of having an approval process. Anytime something is going to be posted out through marketing, it's got to go through someone who's CUI aware so that they can verify there's no CUI present, check off on that, like for example in a ticket or service ticket saying, yep, I reviewed it, it's good to go, and then it goes out and launches. Now, if you're missing any of these, your CMMC assessment, well, it's going to be more painful than bad press. And hey, if you don't want any bad press, I've got great news for you. Because at On Call, we take defense contractors just like you who have had this DFARS, NIST, CMMC, ITAR, and EAR information security compliance stuff dropped into their laps like a seagull on a sunny day. And we teach you how to level up and be a proper on-call compliance hero for your company, eliminating gaps, gray areas, and getting this solved, all while showing you how to leverage compliance as your secret weapon to land more defense work with higher profit margins. Now that's what becoming an on-call compliance hero can do for you. Looking for more help getting compliant? Our compliance experts are always on call for you. Visit cmmccompliancesecrets.com or check out the description below for links to get help right now. If you love the content we're putting out here for you, help us out with a big thumbs up on that like button, or even better, smash that subscribe button. Hey, it's free, and it's a way to get the latest compliance content as soon as our compliance nerds roll it out. Until the next compliance tip, my friends, stay safe and secure out there, and hit us in the comments below to let us know what you'd like to know more about when it comes to information security and compliance. I'll see you on the next one.